Hi, friends. So, in my last video, I talked about ways to kind of quiet the noise and connect with God so you can hear Him on a deeper, more personal level. And I'm laughing because I realized that I didn't even include the main point that I wanted to make that actually inspired that whole video in that video. I completely forgot about it and left it out when I was editing it. I just realized that. So, anyway, we're going to do a kind of part two on how to hear from God better, more consistently, how to kind of deepen that relationship with Him, strengthen that muscle. And I'm not going to say the number one way, but one of the best ways to do this is to quiet the external noise. So, what does this mean? This means really kind of vetting your environment, like paying attention to what is being inputted. What information are you taking in? What energy is around you? So, this is not just cutting out technology noise, which we'll talk about in a second, but it's really about looking at your environment, who you're around, who you hang out with, even the people you work with, which you don't have as much control over, but just paying attention to what the people in your life do, how they speak, how they act, what they believe. Yeah, really the words that they are saying about themselves, them, others, because that can really impact how you see yourself and how you talk to God. Because if you are an open kind of sponge type of person, like I used to be, where you're constantly being swayed by people's opinions, or you just kind of latch on to the energy of other people around you, or like other people's energy really impacts you, it can make God seem really far away. Again, this is something I have personally struggled with, and learning how to kind of have that energetic boundary between myself and others and not become enmeshed in people's energy, because we're not meant to take on other people's stuff, right? So that's one way to quiet the external noise. And I know this can be hard if you have a family or children, but I would definitely encourage you to take time for yourself, even if it's 5 minutes in the car before you drop the kids off at school or pick the kids up from school, or 5 minutes after you drop the kids off, whatever works for you. But it's really important to take time to get away from the noise and energy of other people, because it does clear a lot of internal space so God can speak to us better. So, the second thing is all about what you're consuming. And I'm not just talking about food, but I am talking about what are you consuming on social media? What are you reading? What are you listening to? What are you watching on television? Because again, those things can be helpful and informational. And of course, social media is a beautiful way to stay connected to our friends and family who we don't see often. It's a great way to be inspired and motivated by like-minded people. Like I think we've all kind of fell into that trap of being equal parts inspired, but also overstimulated by social media. And so the next step is to really, again, kind of take stock, take notice of what accounts are you following? Again, what shows? Are you watching the same type of content every night after work, or subscribing, listening to a podcast every week? And what sort of content is it? Is it content that's of the world? Is it purely entertainment? And how much of it are you consuming? Because of course it's fine to relax and watch an amazing K-drama story on Netflix, but there's a fine line between watching that once a week versus binge watching an entire 12 episode season in 2 days. I'm not saying I'm guilty. I'm guilty. um, so when you take time to pay attention to what you're consuming, and then pay attention to how it makes you feel, and if it brings you closer to God or farther from God. And I mean that by your thoughts. Like, are your thoughts consumed by the true crime podcast episode you just listened to, and you're wondering what you would do in that situation if you were traveling alone through the woods and you were abducted? Like, why even have your energy? Like, why waste your energy on that when you could be talking to Jesus? So again, this is a non-judgmental thing. You're just kind of raising your awareness in terms of what you are consuming, what sort of energy you're letting in. Are you watching the news all the time? Are you always on Instagram stories? Are you always reposting the horrible things that are happening in the country? I'm referring to my home country when I say this. Because that kind of energy that's constantly negative and fear mongering and yeah, just not a good vibration, again, that is going to keep you farther from God because you're going to be so focused on all the things that are wrong with the world. So there's the fearful mindset, and then there's also the distracting component of social media as well. So when you're able to take stock of what you're really consuming and pay attention to how it makes you feel after and what you're thinking and how your thought patterns are after consuming those things, then it's really time to do what I have done a couple times very recently and have had amazing results in terms of becoming closer with God and hearing from Him better is that was my drum roll, a tech fast. Not just a social media fast, but a full technology fast. And this can look different for everybody because I understand most of us work. I mean, I work on my computer, so I'm on my computer all day, but I am very guilty of falling down the Google rabbit hole or ChatGPT. So for this tech fast, what I would recommend you do is pick a very short time frame. For me, I just did 3 days. 3 days of not doing these things. 3 days of every time I would think about doing these things, I would actually turn to God instead and find a way to connect with Him instead of doing those things I thought about doing. So, of course, no social media. That's like the number one. Why am I using my pinky? That's the number one thing. No social media for the 3 days. So none of the apps you usually use. And then no like regular media. I don't know. Entertainment. So no TV shows, no streaming, no movies, no YouTube videos, no podcasts. Even if they are Christian based or faith based or positive, it's all about cutting out the insane influx of information we are taking in. It's kind of about clearing all that noise. And then from there, it can really be as rigid or as flexible as you want it. So for me, I chose to not use ChatGPT like at all and not research things at all, like getting on Google, because I am a curious girly. I don't know if there's anybody out there like me who will have a random thought of like, oh, well, I'm planning for this next step in my trip and I want to know what the weather is like in this area. But that's kind of the third phase of this. So you can choose to not talk to anybody during this time via social media or via texting or calling if you want to go that far. You can choose to not even use your phone at all or your laptop, like really cut out all tech to that extreme if you're able to do so. And then from there, just commit to whenever you're having that urge to use your tech in whatever way, you turn to God instead. You choose to read your Bible. You choose to journal. You choose to meditate. You choose to go for a walk. You choose to be present in this actual moment, in this physical reality that we are in right now, not in the virtual reality world of technology. And I've done this twice now the past month, and just the revelations have been so massive, and the clarity in which I'm hearing from God, it just amplifies so much. It just is so much better because it's like when you do this, you're clearing out the energetic gunk that we naturally absorb from all of this input, this information that we're getting all the time. And so we're quieting the noise, we're quieting the dysregulation and the things that overstimulate us. And we're quieting all that, we're flushing it all out. So we make space for Jesus. We make space to actually hear from God and to be able to communicate with Him on a deeper level or in a different way. So that's pretty much it. It sounds simple. It depends on how addicted you are to technology, because I have always thought myself of being not super addicted to social media per se, but doing this practice, this fast, has made me realize how addicted to technology just in general I am. So, if this resonates with you, give it a try. Comment TechFast below, and I'm excited to see your results. I totally believe that this can really be a transformative step in your relationship with the Lord and will help strengthen that muscle in terms of being able to hear from Him on a more personal, deeper level. So, be sure to share this video if you think anyone would resonate, and if you feel so called to do so, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.